Hello everyone, and you're very welcome to our channel narccscon, coming to you today from the lovely Manhattan. So we're without Remy, unfortunately. He couldn't fly transatlantic, but we're hoping to bring you, or I'm hoping to bring you an important podcast, I feel, in that all narcissists share these same demonic traits. And I don't use that word lightly. I've come to the conclusion that this personality disorder that is explained so beautifully in psychology, that is, documented and that follows a pattern. Psychology is a wonderful notification of what to expect next, etc., and various theories on why these people do these things. But I believe because the same traits present in all narcissists, that this is a shared spiritual energy, or for people that believe in the old-fashioned term demon, the same demon inhabits, or the same dark energy inhabits all of these people that present with what psychology defines in various stages of pathology in relation to going from a narcissist or a borderline narcissist to a sociopath to a psychopath at various stages on the spectrum. It's all pretty dark once you get by the kind of normal spectrum of human behavior. So the reason I think this is important is that each of us that have gone through something like this, each person tends to think in an isolated way that for some reason that this has only happened to them, that they've only seen these particular things, that their horrific experience, couldn't possibly be shared because it was so horrific. And I'd like to point out these, I think I have 13 listed, 13 traits that are similar in all narcissists, that they all present with these, and that is freaky. I don't think that any psychology can, bring up these small things and big things that a certain personality disorder would share. They can give reasons why somebody is disordered, and they can say why they think it's nature or nurture, and that they can, go through the whole behavior cycles. But these things are weird. These things are weird. Now, the reason I'm doing the podcast is that I think it will give comfort in some way for you to know that this spirit goes through an awful lot of people, and it wasn't anything to do with you, that you experienced this awfulness in this person, because they do tend to try and personalize it and make you feel, by a lot of the things I'm going to list here, that it's because of you that these things happened and that nobody else would experience these things. So let's get into it. The first thing people will say and report repeatedly, and I've witnessed myself, is the demonic smirk that the narcissist will come out with. It's a smirk type of sneer. It's like a type of a grin that turns into a sneer, so a sneering grin. They will look at you in a kind of a grandiose way where they're trying to be superior to you, and they look at you in a way that only you know why they're looking at you in this way. It's a kind of a I've got you, it's a one-up, it's a kind of I'm in charge, I'm in the lead, I've managed to con you and nobody else knows it but you do. It's a very satisfied smirky smear, and that's when the spirit or the energy behind the face of the person that you're dealing with comes through. It comes through for sometimes a split second or longer, but you get a glimpse of a badness. That's the best way I can describe it. You get a glimpse of the darkness that's operating that person, and then it goes back to normal. But that is one sign that all narcissists have that, what I would call demonic trait, because you can see it's a visualization or a visual presentation of the energy of that dark soul that inhabits that structure of a human being. The next thing is, the next trait is the rictus grin. It's often called the rictus grin. And it's a very fixed, very wide, over, if I can try and do it, it's like there's no feeling going to the eyes, but the grin is like as far as the structure of the mouth can stretch from one side to the other. And it's steady, it's steady, and it's just, it's very hard to describe, but I know that you will have seen it. And it's the narcissist, being delighted with themselves over something and thinking that that's the way to show joy. But it's not nice. It's just not nice, and it doesn't come across as very human or humane. So that's one part of it. A normal person will just smile or will laugh and will change their facial expressions in all that experience of joy. The narcissist just keeps the grin, keeps the same big smirky grin. So that's another trait, and we're getting on to a few of these are the glimpses. These are the glimpses. Number 3 is the vacant stare. Now we can all sit and, be thinking, mulling over things and daydreaming. But the narcissist will just sit there and stare at you as if there's nobody home. The lift's not going to the top floor. There's just nobody there. And I actually was sidelined by this once, because what I used to think was that, well, if somebody is not deceiving you, or if somebody's being straight with you, they're able to look you in the eyes. And the narcissist would look me in the eyes for a very long period of time, to the point where I would actually look away and they would continue staring. And that was the weirdest experience I have ever had. There was nobody there. Number 4, a lot of you will have reported this in comments at various stages, and it is something I could do another whole podcast on. It is when the narcissist loses it. It's when the narcissist goes into a rage over literally nothing. You may have left the lid off the jam jar. It's nothing to do with the action, that the narcissist says they're angry about. It's just the mask becomes too tight. Something may have happened in the background of their lives, in the work situation or with somebody else, that they had to keep the mask on for. But that you're at a stage of devaluation, or you're hooked enough in the relationship with the narcissist so they know that they can lose control with you and recover from it. So they let rip. They let rip at you with all the insults and whatever they need to do, but the eyes go black. The eyes don't look like there's actually somebody who is cognizant or who's making any sense. There's a lot of vitriol coming out of the mouth, but the eyes look like they're in another type of dimension, another state. So again, it doesn't look like there's a human behind the eyes, but there's a force coming at you that is very malign. Again, please share if any of this resonates with you, please put it down in the comments, because we need to validate each other in that we understand that this is an extraordinary experience that we've been through, and that this is in fact a thing, and that this is in fact something out of this worldly experience, that an energy or a demon or demonic force inhabits or takes over or attaches itself to these people and takes over their bodies and souls and makes them all act from that energy space, using the human form to go around destroying people. So these are the visual flags or red flags that can tell you that this person is not operating from a normal human space. Number 5, a narcissist is able to switch from one emotion to another in a split second, highly authentically. Particularly actually with reference to the last point where the narcissist is in a furious rage and the eyes have gone black. They have the ability to maybe have been go on at you and on at you and on at you for an extended period of time. Some people say it can go on for hours, but they can be raging at you for 20 minutes. They can then leave the room and they can come back in within seconds and suggest, would you like to go for a walk? In a totally different energy and emotional sphere. It is, again, I find this very, very strange. It's as if that particular force has just left them and they're back to being a normal, seemingly functioning human being again. And it's as if they have no notion of what came over them. They have, if you ask to discuss it, they'll say, I don't really know what you're talking about. And, I wasn't angry at you. I said a few things and I'd rather not discuss it. Anyway, let's go out. They don't really want to either acknowledge it or actually remember it. It's very peculiar. You think that no one else has experienced these things, and that's why you may think, you may not, you may be well educated at this stage, you may have heard all of these things before. But that I'm putting this out because I think sometimes people will go and watch a whole lot of videos or podcasts before they're able to bring all of the information together and say, yes, the person I was with did that as well. And this helps get a quicker kind of a more condensed education, I suppose, on the traits of what narcissists do and what they all share and how to identify one easily. Number 6, narcissists will all take pleasure from deception. And I'm going to do a podcast, another one on this. There's so much information, so much dissecting that we can do on this horrid type of energy and presentation in the human form. Pleasure from deception. The narcissist thinks it's absolutely wonderful and very powerful and strong to have deceived somebody because that gives them the one-up on that person and that puts them in a superior position. So remember, their modus operandi is to win, to always win. They don't come from a place of wanting to build and earn and work together with someone. So they will step on a person to advance themselves. They'll step on top of a person to advance themselves. They won't work together. So if they've managed to con or to defraud or to pull the wool over your eyes and deceive you, they get pleasure from that. They get pleasure, and I'm going to list a few things here that actually empower them and give them pleasure. And that's why I think these are demonic traits that present themselves. So they get pleasure from cheating on you. Not the way, say, a normal, it's not a good thing to be cheating on a partner or to be cheating on a friend or in whatever capacity. Some people will cheat and really regret having cheated and will see it as laterally as a weakness in themselves. But narcissists cheat and get away with the cheating. They enjoy the cheating for what it's giving them, but they really enjoy deceiving you in the cheating and knowing that they're deceiving you and having a conversation with you, knowing that you know nothing about their cheating. They enjoy that. That's sadistic. They enjoy that. Now, a normal person would have remorse or guilt or shame while talking to you while they're cheating. Different with narcissists. They love it. B, things like hiding money. They think that that's just great, that they're brilliant guys and gals for being able to hide money from you. they're really one-upping you, and they can sit back and chat with you and really enjoy the chat with you. And the reason and you can be even asking them to improve or telling them, you know, that you're not happy with something, they can be really enjoying it, even if you're giving out to them, so to speak, because they know they have one up on you. So they're kind of looking at you like, you can say what you want. It's like a bold child. You can say what you want. I know where your things are that you don't. Like, I've hidden them on you. So I'm the one in the lead. So no matter what you say to me about me, I'm the winner. That's the kind of mentality. They will enjoy smear campaigning you. They will enjoy telling other people bad stuff about you. Who gets enjoyment from that? What type of a normal, good, even just normal person would get enjoyment from pretending to their partner or their friends or their work colleagues that they like them and they're getting on with them, and behind their back they're destroying their reputation? That's, use the word demonic or use dark energy or use evil, or whatever way you want to look at it, it's not good. And all narcissists do this at some point in time, in every relationship. Even the relationships that last a lifetime, where they may have a family member who's a supporter of them, or a long-term friend who they always, you know, revert to for regular supply, that they keep kind of, not their main supply, but kind of storage supplies that they can always rely on. Other people might call them flying monkeys that they can always rely on. They are never faithful to anybody. The next point I would have, number 7, is they don't have an identity. They don't have a stable identity. They are they can change identity for different situations, and they're often being called chameleon or a chameleon. Chameleon, I think, is the way to pronounce it. I'm always pronouncing my words wrong. A person that can change identity to suit people and situations, to me that's frightening. It's frightening because you don't know what you're dealing with. You don't know what that person is capable of doing. It's highly suspicious, and it's like as if a person is being taken over by various different spirits, whatever you would like to say. If that doesn't sound too woo-woo, it is very strange seeing the changing personality of a narcissist. So many personalities in one person. Number 8. Narcissists are highly promiscuous. You may not see the amount of promiscuity, but it will come across to you. You will know at some level that the person has a dirty mind. That's the only way I can describe it. That the person is in some way dirty or soiled. And I'm not coming to this position from any kind of a perfect wonderfulness. I'm just saying that your senses will be repelled at some stage, and your mind may overlook it and say it's just your imagination. They have weird sexual preferences. They may not reveal them immediately, but there'll always be some kind of strangeness to what they eventually will attempt to get you to try or to do or to say or to be in that arena. And sorry, the identity that I was talking about before, and I was stumbling over the words a bit, is that they also have no sexual identity. That narcissists, and this is a trait in a lot of narcissists, and this has nothing to do with people that are actually bisexual, narcissists in general, if they are a narcissist, will be able to be bisexual because it ups their game by an extra 50%. So they're running from 50% of the population to 100% of the population that they can manipulate through their sexuality. They don't have that identity. They just can change and will change because they value nothing. They value nothing. They don't value a particular character trait unless that character trait is required to manipulate another person successfully. So their sexual identity, if it's going to be more useful to veer one way or the other, they will do so, because intimacy and their sexual lives mean nothing to them other than physical pleasure and for manipulation purposes. To me, that's a pretty dark trait. To think that you're with this spiritual energy in this person who can change on a dime and is whispering sweet nothings in your ear at a certain stage, which mean nothing. It's literally somebody trying to work you, trying to use you, trying to destroy you, trying to get in to your soul, mind, and spirit with deception, using deception. Number 9, and I know maybe some of you will go, Paula, come on now, this is a bit too much, this is a bit too silly and dark and, old-fashioned, and I don't agree, and that's fine. But I have coached a lot of people, and obviously I've done a lot of research in this subject, because I think I could nearly tell you if there was to be a Bible out on narcissists and what and how they do and follow, I could probably recite the Bible off to you in relation to that personality and that spirit and that energy. They practice and worship, not all of them, but a lot of them, when they need to, will practice and worship or consult the occult. Is it the occult or the occult? I think there's different pronunciations, in the States and in Europe in relation to these. And then I think probably Ireland has its own pronunciations as well, or I do. So sorry about that, but I think you know what I'm talking about. Some of them do voodoo. I mean, and I know I've come across this particularly in female narcissists in particular. So I don't know why, but if they want to punish a guy for rejecting them, or they want control over them in a relationship, they want to get the guy to marry them or whatever, they will get the little dolls out and do the pin stuff, get the old sewing box out there and stick a few pins in the various parts that need pins in them. I don't know much about voodoo or the occult or occult, thanks very much, but that's the type of thing a female narcissist would do. And you'd have to ask why. There's no kind of going to church and saying prayers privately, that something might work out. No, the old doll comes out and the pins come out instead, which tells you a hell of a lot about a person. And I'm not having you on, I know I'm laughing about it, because it is so, it seems far-fetched, but it happens. So, number 10, this is blasphemous. This is as bad as it gets, I think. They will use God's word or your beliefs against you. They will twist and turn something, even a quote from the Bible, that is taken out of context or out of the holy books, and they will put that to you and say, see, you're so religious or whatever, this is what your book says, or this is what, you're meant to be doing. But it is taken out of context. They love doing that. to me, that's as bad as it gets, as dark as it gets, to take something that's good or that's meant to be good and to use it to lash you with and to get you to buy in, say, you know, God would want you to do this. God would want you to do that. You know that God wouldn't like you to do that. If you're talking about, say, leaving a narcissist or divorcing a narcissist and you're a religious person or you follow a practice, but they don't go to the part of the Bible or the holy books that say run from Jezebel or, you know, run from the demonic, have nothing to do, God will sort this out. God does not want you to stay with a demonic monster. But they will be saying, you know, using that to try and keep you from getting a divorce or whatever. Don't be fooled by a twisted tongue. Okay, we're coming to number 11 in relation to demonic traits that narcissists share. This was one of the most freaky things and scary things that I've ever encountered in a split second. And please share if you have. If I'd love to know if other people got this insight, this view of evil that I remember getting on a doorstep post discard when I saw the narcissist again a year later. I remember coming up to the door and seeing this person, and they looked right through me. The person that I had presented themselves to me was not there. There was a different person there. It was like a stranger. It only lasted for a few seconds and they went back into mode again to the person that they had been. And this wasn't just an awkwardness or, hadn't seen someone for a while. This was a stranger. This was a different person. And it was heart-stopping and it was very impactful. So it's those glimpses of the truth that you're shown, and I believe we're shown them for a reason. I believe we will see when we are able to see. Sometimes we don't want to see. Sometimes we're so caught up with all the other manipulations and all the daily striving in life, tiredness, finances, all those things, hard at work, kids, whatever. It's easier not to see. It's very important, if you're not ready to see or fully accept, that you file those moments away in the background of your hard drive, because what you're seeing is a warning, and it's a dire warning that you need to get away from this person, that you're getting glimpses of what's hidden, but if you were to unveil what's actually there, you could be very horrified, and that person is capable of what you know not. So you've been given glimpses of danger for a reason. If you can get away or plan your getaway, I'd highly advise it when you see these particular traits. And I think we have two more that I've listed. I mean, there are many, but these are very common. These ones are very common. So don't feel you're alone if you've experienced some of these. We've all seen them. We've all gone through it. And you don't want to have a relationship with this particular spirit. They change identity for the next person that they have particularly an intimate relationship with. They can go, from being a mountain climber to never climbing a mountain climber with you, and a swimmer from never climbing a mountain or swimming again, and becoming a student of archaeology and never going outdoors. They're just very simple examples. What I really mean to say is that they change the form that they appear in to suit the next person they want to tempt and taunt and torture and destroy. Strong words, the truth. And the last thing I have written down in relation to their demonic traits, and this is a particularly torturous one, as we've said that word a few minutes ago, the narcissist will feed you with information about a situation. And they let that lie and trigger you to do something about the information they've given you. And when you go and do something about the information they've given you, and get somebody else involved or impart that information to someone else in an attempt maybe to solve something, that person and you may go back to the narcissist in relation to this, to confront whatever information the narcissist gave you. The narcissist will deny ever having said anything to you or given you that information, and they will deny all knowledge about what you're talking about. And you will end up looking like a little bit unhinged, particularly if it's been very, of a serious nature. And it may even be something that you report to the law enforcement. And you may have a policeman or woman coming to the house to talk to the narcissist about this, to help the situation. And the narcissist says, oh, I know nothing about that. She's making it up or he's making it up. That is a biggie. But yes, they do that. If they want to create a narrative about you being crazy, which is what they love to do, and something of that nature, if a person doesn't actually know about narcissism, is enough to tip a person over. And again, just recently, I was talking with a lovely client, you know who you are, and we were talking, she said, sometimes I look back and I wish I hadn't been so naive. And I said, I don't particularly like the word naive. And we came up with the better word, uninformed. Before you go into a relationship with a person of this ilk or a person of this spiritual attachment, how can you, blame yourself when you didn't know that this type of individual is an everyday occurrence, unfortunately, that there's a percentage of the population that operates in an identical way like this, with very similar traits. So, you can't say to yourself, the glass was broken and I'm blaming myself for breaking it, when somebody had left something out that would trip you up that you didn't know was there. You're blaming yourself for not being able to see something that wasn't there before you knew it was there, so to speak. Guys, that's all for now. I'm going to try and do a general channel live on Saturday, this coming Saturday, I think, probably in the afternoon. We'll see how the old energy is and if we can get on here in peace and quiet. And again, on Sunday, probably early Sunday morning, and I'm East Zone here at the moment. I think early Sunday morning East, I will do a channel membership live, which is a much smaller group where you get a chance to ask questions that we have time to answer because the group is smaller than the whole channel. With people coming on, we're not able to get to answer everyone's questions or discuss things at that stage. So anyway, that's Saturday and Sunday. Let's call it a live weekend, hopefully. And everyone will get a chance to ask questions and hopefully we'll get to answer them. So I'm going to say goodbye for now. Please take care of yourselves and we'll see you again on the weekend. Bye for now.